Hello and welcome to all of you out there, my dear astrology friends. This is the video about the new moon in Aquarius that is occurring around and about the 21st of January. So the 20th, 21st, 22nd of January, we're going to feel it at its peak. And it's all about the sun coming together with the moon at 1 degree of Aquarius. And what is this all about for the collective? And of course, very shortly, I'm going to start with that actually, for the 12 signs, in what kind of area this is occurring. As this is a very, you could say, oh, Aquarius is a very light sign. It is, and it's a very tolerant, human sign, you could say. It's all about humanity. It's all about liberté, égalité, fraternité. So clear when we talk about Aquarians. And that is all what we love about the Aquarians energy. Excuse me. But it's a very deep new moon. And that is because we have a very Plutonian and Saturnial kind of energy behind all this. So what I'm going to say in general is actually for all of us so significant that I'm only going to break down the areas of life where we're going to feel it. This is a very important new style that we are going to feel. New style of how we do connections in general. And why is that? Because Aquarius is the sign, it's the 11th house in the horoscope. And Aquarian energy, whether you have a sun in Aquarius or a moon or an ascendant or even a personal planet like a Venus or a Mars or a Mercury, it is all about community. It is all about humanity. It is all about tolerance. It's about kindness. It's about friendliness. Therefore, it's also associated with friends. Aquarians, they are known, not all of them, but most Aquarians, they are known for a very friendly personality, for being friendly to people who are quite different from themselves. That is the, you could say, the Aquarian vibe. It's about communities. It's about, when I think about Aquarius, I think about those communities that are so positive, that are working, like the nomads, for instance, you know, with all their deers, and they're going from one place to another, and they just put up a tent, or it's not called a tent, but you know, in the northern of Russia, Siberia, or where is it? Those, you know, the people that are just putting up a tent in 1.5 hours, and they're doing that because they're doing it in a group, which is very Aquarian-like. They're doing it in a group, but every single person has its uniqueness, which is the opposite sign of Leo. But in a group, it just works, and it works so much faster. Can you imagine if you have to do that by yourself, just putting up such a big, huge tent? But doing it in a group, it's in a 1, 2, 3, you could say. And that is the Aquarian vibe. So the Aquarian vibe is all about friendliness, and it's all about new beginnings around this, because when we have a sun and a moon together, which is called a new moon, it's about endings and new beginnings. And oh my goodness me, do we have some endings here before we have this new beginning of this Aquarian vibe expressing itself. Why do I say, oh boy, we have some endings here? Because a week, 2 weeks before that, before this new moon occurring on the 21st of January, we have had recently the sun passing Pluto, and now also the moon is going to pass Pluto. So and this Pluto at 28 degrees of Capricorn is just like a couple of degrees away from that new moon that is going to occur. So this new moon has a Plutonian vibe. And I've been talking about in my other videos about Pluto a lot. So this is about preceding energy, and energy whilst this new moon is going on is definitely some sort of a symbolic death, if you like, of something that was no longer working for us, that had to do with structure, because it's in Capricorn, this Pluto. So that had to do with structure. And find out, if you want to know more, in that other video that I make, the preceding one here, about the Mercury going direct again. Because this was all about this part of your life that needed to get a reconstruction, so to speak. But it's all easier said than done. If we want to start new, we have, first of all, be aware that the old way is not working anymore. And secondly, we have to be willing to build up something new. So that is therefore, this quite light, normally Aquarius isn't as deep as what I'm talking about now, but because of Pluto, it makes it so deeper and so much more transformative. And Pluto is also about hidden stuff. So building up until the new moon, up until like the 21st, there's going to be a lot of stuff that comes up, a lot of secrets coming up, a lot of stuff that we did not know or wasn't spoken. All of that is coming up. It can make a little bit of a crisis, you could say. It doesn't have to, but normally a transformation precedes always some sort of a crisis, you could say. And we will have to deal with it in a different way. That's basically it. If that wasn't enough, you could say you have to look at the rulership of the sign of Aquarius. Now we have a modern ruler, which is Uranus, which is which is in Taurus at the moment. And we have its ancient ruler, which is Saturn, which is also in Aquarius. And guess what? Who's there? Venus is there as well. So we have also not only a very deep theme going on about transformation, about this is not how it works anymore, this needs to go. The sooner we see it, the better. And also, even if we don't see it, life will prompt us into it for sure. Life will show it to us. If we want to put our head in the sand, with Pluto, it doesn't work. So it's the shadow work that I've been talking about. The more shadow work you've done recently, the better, because then you are prepared, you know where you're heading towards. And the theme, of course, is connections. I say connections, I don't want to say relationship. Why? Because people think, oh yeah, romantic relationship. It's all our connections. Why? Because the ancient rulership of Aquarius, which is Saturn, is at the very end of Aquarius. You could say the last couple of 10 degrees of Aquarius, 20 up until 29 degrees of Aquarius, Saturn is going that path there between now and between March of this year. So it's going to do the last degree. So Saturn is there, and now Venus bumps into it at 24 degrees of Aquarius. So we're having now what we call a Venus conjunct Saturn at the time that we have a new moon. So this is all about serious connections. Is it a bad way or a good way of relationship, a Venus conjunct Saturn relationship? It is the Venus conjunct Saturn relationship. It's not bad or good. It's what we make out of it. Okay? So, but it is a typical way of relating for sure. And that's why this is all about connections, relationships with people, and how to redefine them and how to do them in the long run, because Aquarius is a fixed sign. So the things that we do now, the things that we stop and the things that we begin again, it's going to be fixed. It's going to be for the long run. So we better take some time to realize what is this all about, and is this worth it, and am I going to stick to this? Another thing of the Venus Saturn energy is actually all about commitment. It's all about loyalty. It's all about serving, you could say, the community as well, in a way. Let's have a look first for what kind of area this is for you, and then delve deeper into the energy of explaining this, because there are many connections considering your sun sign. Look at your sun sign, your moon sign, but also look foremost your ascendant sign. Okay? and make a mixture of all of that. So therefore, this whole video is very important. It's not just your sun sign. Actually, that is a little bit of less importance here. So for Aries people, this is in your 11th house. So what I'm going to say next is all going to relate towards your friendships, okay? Friendships, associations, goals for the future, your commitment towards goals for the future. For Taurians, so I'm not going to put timestamps here. It's so short, but you will understand what I mean. For Taurians, this is about your job. This is about your work. If you don't work, this is about the public service that you do in society, whether that is, let's hope, your good vibes that you have and that you put in there. For others, it is a parent, okay? It's your connection with a significant parent. Gemini, this is not so much about your relationships or a particular relationship. This is more about how you relate to the divine, how you relate to the cosmos, how you relate to the universe, because this is happening in your 9th house. It's a very important new beginning for you. It's a very important relationship. It might be even one of the biggest relationships, your relationship with everything, with the divine. The stronger that is, the more faith you have in that, the better you're gonna do in all the rest of your relationship. If you have no faith, if you have no trust in the universe, I mean, working against the universe is very hard. Cancerians, this is about values for you, values that you share, not only values, but also assets. So it could be investments, money. It's a financial house as well. As much as it is a very emotional house as well. So it's the assets, the money, the goods that you share with a significant other person. So yes, this could be the money of your spouse or the money of the investment that you have together with another connection, but that you share resources with. Can be an investment as well. All of that is now at a new beginning, you could say. There is some new beginning going on here. And it's also about all these things that I was talking about the seriousness and the transformation of that. It's also about intimacy. There is an ending and a new beginning for you around intimacy with a specific romantic person here. There could be an ending of it and there could be a beginning of it. Don't panic if I'm saying ending. I mean, you know it. You will know it when it's about to end. With all that Plutonian stuff, I don't need to message you that. If you're saying, well, I'm pretty good, then this is more about the stuff of a new way of being intimate with a very important person in your life. If you are, for instance, single, this could mean a start of intimacy with that person. Leos, my goodness me, this is all about you and another person. Even if you are single, it's about your attitude, the attitude that you have been taking towards other people. And it's about the things that I'm going to speak in a minute, but this is very much about you and another person. For Virgos, this is not so much about a specific person. This is more about your attitude, again, around work, around discipline, around your day-to-day tasks. This is all about how you do things, how you, a new beginning when it comes to your health, when it comes to how you want to deal with your routines. Librans, this is all about relationships and what kind of relationships, the relationship with your children if you have them, and a romantic relationship. So here, a very beautiful, because Libra trines Aquarius, so a very beautiful new beginning here of loyalty and of a long-term connection. Scorpios, this is in the deepest part of your horoscope, the 4th house. So this could be a connection with a parent. If it's not that, it is more about your connection towards your emotions. So your emotional setup, how you feel home with you, how you feel good about yourself, how you can nurture yourself, and also for some of you, literally your home. Sagittarians, this is about connections for you. What kind of connections? Third house connections. These are the more airy connections, you could say, but definitely new beginnings there with neighbors. You know, the third house is neighbors. It's people in your neighborhood. It is siblings. So there could be an ending and a new beginning, a new way of commitment towards these people. Second house for Capricorns. So this is about, it's not so much about you could say people around you. It's a lot about your attitude towards what you have, your talents, your possessions, your how you deal with money and with earning money. Some sort of a new start here that is, it's a lot about loyalty towards self and towards your own talents. Aquarians, everything I say in this video is for you. It definitely is. It definitely is a reset that you're getting here. My goodness me. And it's a commitment with yourself. And of course, indirectly, it's about you connecting with one-to-one with everybody in your life, right? The first house is you. It's the most important house. But because you have a different commitment now, the old way of remember that I said, you know, with this Capricornian energy in your 12th house, it's all about releasing the old way of doing life, basically, that has to do with shadow, that has to do with old patterns from even your ancestors, to release that so that you reinvent yourself. It's definitely like that. And it can be from this new, fresh kind of feeling that you will get. And the more you release the old way, the better you can start with this new way. And it's for the long run. And it's a lot about you being you, but also being that typical Aquarian that is so kind and gentle. So it starts with kindness towards self. Very, very strong energy here for you Aquarians. Definitely for all Aquarians, because there's so much energy in Aquarius at this particular moment. In the first degree, right? Because it's on 1 degree, this new moon. But definitely there's going on this this Venus Saturn in your sign as well at 24 degrees. So it's all Aquarians that will feel this. And last but not least, Pisces. This is about, not so much about a person, but it's more about your patterns, your unconscious ways of behaving. Why? Because this is happening in your 12th house, which is the Pisces house, which is the realms of the unknown, or not the unknown, but the unconscious. So to put a light on this, which is going to happen with this new moon, it shows blind spots that could be shown to you very much by friends, because this Pluto is happening in your 11th house, or groups of people, or an association, or a goal that is not working, or a new goal that you want. This has a lot to do with that. That could be the initiator, the accelerator, you could say. And so it's about seeing your shadow, seeing your blind spots, and look at them and integrate them so that you can start that new beginning that is way more fair and kind and fair. So these are the energies going on through your specific sign. But let's talk now about what is this all about? I mean, this Venus conjunct Saturn. What is this all about? What is the purpose of all of this? Let's break this down. Now we can it's always best, if we want to understand it better, to look at a natal chart. Let's start with so we have to look at Aquarius. We have to look at we're not going to look at the Plutonian energy anymore. For that, I invite you to look at the video of Mercury retrograde. What I'm going to look at here is, what is Venus in Aquarius all about? What is Venus conjunct Saturn in Aquarius all about? And what is the rulership, the modern rulership, which is Uranus? What is that doing? squaring up to this Venus-Saturn in a wide angle, you could say. So let's start with the basic, Venus in Aquarius. So this is all about what we love, and we are invited here to do some more Venus in Aquarius kind of relationships, right? Or connections. And what is that? Venus in Aquarius, it's all about kindness. As I said, do an act of kindness, for sure, for sure. And you will contribute, you will use this energy, and you will contribute to what the universe wants, because it's the language of the universe, and the universe wants us to tap into that Venus in Aquarius. So yes, it's about acts of kindness for sure. But it's not just an act of kindness. It's easy, of course. If you are in a full bus, like me yesterday, I was in a bus and it was full. And there was an old lady, you know, with a stick, and she was coming in, and I just offered her my seat, right? It's not difficult to do that. I have young legs, quite young still, but you see what I mean? That's, of course, very easy. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kindness to give to someone in your environment, or when I said these people that are very different from you, that will need a lot of your tolerance factor, so to speak. That is what Aquarius is all about. The Venus in Aquarius person, or even people with an Aquarius rising, for instance. Let's say I'm not an astrologer with an Aquarius rising, but let's say that I have an Aquarius rising or a Venus in Aquarius. I do have Venus in the 11th house, which is a bit like the Venus in Aquarius vibe. So you could say that I do have in my chart those traits, for sure. Venus in the 11th house is the same as Venus in Aquarius, or the same vibe. So what I mean is that, how do you do readings in these Aquarius kind of vibes? Well, you are kind to everybody. You are, kind, and you are also fair to everybody. And everybody is equal. So I don't care if someone is giving me maybe 4 times more or presenting to me, I want a reading yesterday, but I'm giving you like €1,000. I don't care for that. I'm not going to really care for that, especially when they're using that kind of thing. I want to be first, and I just want to, all the people that had the readings or had paid you, and I just use a chronological order, which is, again, fairness, right? And so someone who will want to go a bit like this, it's not going to work with a Venus in Aquarius person or with that kind of energy. It's not going to work. The form of someone is not important to a Venus in Aquarius person. The essence of someone is important, and the essence of all human beings is the same, right? So that's the whole vibe. The essence is the same. The form might be different, of course, when you are, for instance, let's say a lawyer and or maybe a surgeon, you earn a lot of money. Of course, you might drive maybe a very beautiful Range Rover that is super, super expensive. But hey, you work hard for it, you drive with it. But that doesn't make you different in a way, so to speak, just because of the form. So a Venus in Aquarius person can deal very well with a person like that, or with a person that is struggling for money on a financial form level, you could say, but in essence is the same. So an astrologer like that is just going to treat everyone the same, whether you're speaking to someone who is a CEO, for instance, and someone who is a farmer. You can adapt, of course. A Venus in Aquarius will adapt and will make sure that the farmer does understand you, right? That you're not going to use all those different hard words or different words that are so complicated that no one understands them, even not the CEO. But anyway, it's going to be friendly, and it's going to give you the feeling that you are a human being. And that's what Venus in Aquarius is all about. So we are all invited in our connections to have that attitude, okay? and to not fall for someone who's screaming louder and giving them an opportunity to be first, for instance. That would not be fair. So a lot of fairness is definitely, I think I made my point. The fairness is very important. Together with that is also the freedom. A Venus in Aquarius person will want to relate in a free way. So relationships for a Venus in Aquarius person is always going to be a little bit different. And I mean different, not the norm. You could say ordinary, what is society saying to you. And of course, depending on your culture, let me break this down. In my culture in Belgium, you could say the ordinary conservative way of love is still that you marry or you live together with a person that you pick out, you have some children with them, you have a Labrador, I'm exaggerating now, a Labrador, you have a house, you have a job, and so on. It's a bit conservative, but that's the way of a Venus maybe in Capricorn, or whatever. But a Venus in Aquarius still wants to have that fairness, kindness, but wants to be free. That doesn't mean to say that they are going to jump from one person to another and have some free sex with half of the city. No, it means that I need my freedom in a connection. I need space, right? I need space. So a person with Venus in Aquarius, Venus in the 11th, an Aquarius rising sign, a sun in Aquarius, will always need space. They always will need space in a way like, yes, I'm married, but now I'm going with a girlfriend. I'm living here in Belgium, but now I'm going with a girlfriend for 2 weeks to New York. I'm going to have fun with my girlfriend, and I'm going to really, and you will have to trust me that I'm not going to do stupid things. But you see, it's that I must have the feeling that I have freedom in doing what I want to do. So that is also very Aquarian-like. An Aquarius person or it's the Uranus side of Aquarius. So it's like, you will not tell me what to do. That's very Aquarius, Uranus kind of thing. It's the rebel in a negative side, right? In a negative way of expressing this is the rebel. This is saying, thank you very much. But the rebel, of course, just cut cords and will have to face that. Right? So we have a Uranian kind of energy amongst Aquarius, but also a Saturnial. So the Uranian kind of energy is definitely also demanded of us, of doing, being fair and all of that, but also giving other people space, not only demanding your space, but also giving other people space to be exactly who they are. And but now Saturn comes in here. We have this Venus in Aquarius of a bit of an alternative style of loving. It's very friendly style of loving. People who have Venus in Aquarius, they will fall. Typical thing is they will fall for their best friend, for instance, or they are going to marry their best friend. It's very common with Venus in Aquarius. Or of equality. I'm not going to say that every person with Venus in Aquarius is gay. Don't get me wrong here. But it's that Aquarian vibe gives a lot of the same sexes, the love for same sex as well. So it's definitely unconventional, but it's fresh. It's new styles. It's about, let's not do the typical way of getting married and so on. Why not a community? Right? Where we live our lives with some people that we know very well, and we have some, we have a very friendly love towards them. You could say, is it the agape kind of love that we mean by that? I'm not so good in mythology and all of that, but if people do know about them, write in the comments if you want. But it's definitely that humanitarian kind of love that I'm feeling. When someone is in need, even though this person is not your best friend, or even though you don't like them, or they don't have the same values, if they're struggling, you're going to give a hand, right? You're going to give your seat to this person and going to say, you can sit down here. I don't have to. You see, it's that kind of energy. And so a very interesting way here is also being avant la lettre. Avant la lettre is a very you could say, it's a way of living, but it's seeing in advance new structures on a social level. So we are also invited to do some things differently in a new way. So, for instance, let's say you're single, you're 69 years old, and you're single, and you're struggling because of a health problem or whatever. Now, this Venus in Aquarius but you have a few friends out there. What about co-housing? That is a Venus in Aquarius kind of thing to do. You see what I mean? It's like those different structures that are asked here, that serves the community, but that is not dismissing your own uniqueness, right? You have the space to do that. Remember the story about that the nomads, right, with the deers. A young boy, let's say in that family, when a young boy can run really fast, they're gonna use that young boy for the community, the service of that. That he does all the thing with the reindeers, right? So because he's so fast and all of that. And if someone is very good at sewing, they that is that person. They're not gonna let that person run. Just it's that kind of vibe. It's your own uniqueness, but it's at surface of some sort of a community. And it's a very Aquarian thing, right? Now Uranus is slightly squaring all this energy. And that is because Saturn here is as well wanting to be very loyal and wanting things to be very classic. So you see, there's a bit of a give and take here between the conservative way of doing things in a relationship and the more alternative way of doing things. And it's a mixture. So to get back to the example of co-housing, for instance, this Venus together with Saturn, which is rules. Saturn is about rules, protection, loyalty. So Saturn is actually solidifying this. So you could do this co-housing, for instance, in a contract. Right? You put a contract where you specify the things that you want to do or not want to do. That, this person is going to do, I don't know, the laundry or whatever. It's not about that, of course. It's a financial thing that when this person is not going to put money in for 3 months, this and that is going to happen. So you have to do boundaries here. That is Saturn. So what an interesting energy this is. It's a very serious one. It's a serious love. It's a deep love that we can get here. And it's a long-term love because it's fixed, but it's with good boundaries. It's put into a contract, you could say. So a lot of contracts are going to be made here, but no, that it demands loyalty. So when we look at just the Venus-Saturn conjunction, when a person has that in a chart, it is a very loyal person. Someone who's got, it's the Saturnial side of Aquarius, you could say, which is loyalty, which is, I don't care what my needs are, but I'm going to stick to it. Because I'm loyal. Because I'm loyal to this person, to this contract, to this object, whatever. But anyway. So a Venus conjunct Saturn person is or like a Moon Saturn person, a Venus Saturn person. These are people that you want to have in your life. Why? Because when you are going very, very bad, if that is an illness, if that is you need some help, they are going to be there because of their loyalty. And why are they doing that? When typically a Venus-Saturn person or a Moon-Saturn person, because they fear rejection. That's actually the base of it. I know people will not like to hear that, but that's the base of it. It's the fear of rejection. That's why they are doing this. So yes, everything that we do has some selfish kind of energy, you could say. Also, the very devoted person who's very loyal, right? They're also doing that for not only you, but also for themselves. So yes, there will be demanded loyalty of us if we will start a new connection or upgrade a connection. Even if we end a connection, we will be, which is possible with this energy for sure, but also possible to start new ones. It will demand quite some loyalty here. And of course, you can understand that in every typical situation. It can be loyalty when you start a family, when you have children. Of course, you can't say, hey, when they are ill or sick, well, you can say someone else will have to do it. But a normal, what is normal, of course, these days? But a parent will take care of their child, no matter how they feel, even if they feel themselves quite bad or not good or whatever. It's a responsibility. It's that kind of energy that we are facing now. And it's good to do so. So a Venus-Saturn person, it seems like they are very reserved. You know, I think those people are so reserved. It doesn't matter in what kind of sign it is, but I always see these people as so classical. Even in Aquarius, you know, Venus conjunct Saturn is very classic. It's very reserved, but it seems cold. But actually now I hope you understand it's not cold at all. It's super loyal, but it's distancing themselves from feelings. So a lot of relationships now are going to be formed. Not so much, it's not a Venus-Jupiter conjunction that we're having here. That is, oh, I love you, come here, I'm gonna grab my arms around you, and love is bigger than life, I'm gonna show it, I'm gonna express it. No, it's a Venus-Saturn. I'm not gonna express my love, but it's there. It's there. It's, I feel loyal. You know, it's that kind of energy. It's not better than the Venus-Jupiter. It's not worse. It's different. So that is a very typical thing. It's the Venus and Saturn person. When you have a friend that is a Venus-Saturn person or a Moon-Saturn person, and you are in the hospital, for instance, and you are very ill, and it's that person that is going to visit you. And even if this person has like the most difficult agenda, and they are going to visit you because I feel like, hey, the loyalty there. And yes, that is a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing because that's the depth of it. That's the style, the love style, you could say. The love style, you know, that you have is based on your Venus. It's based on your Venus. So this is the love. Actually, I'm describing a love style here for this whole video, and I'm about to end it, but I could be going on and on because I find it a very interesting combination of, you know, it's rather a complex combination here with this Uranus, with the Saturn, but I hope I explain it well so that you can tap into those energies. And so, yes, think about what kind of connection that you want to put in more effort around these and using these energies, because this is energies that are available if we use them and go with them. We can, you know, if you go with the universe and align with yourself with the divine, you can go so far, and also with other people. So very interesting energy indeed. And yeah, but this is, again, if you are going to if you are a person that is going to decide, because of some crises that went on before, to have that new style, make sure that you know if you yourself, but for the Aquarians, it's about them, of course, but for all the other signs, it's about other people, that other person is worth it, that other person is worth it to be loyal like that. It could be like, if you have this in your third house, for instance, it could be like you being loyal to a neighbor that is 80 years old, that has no people in their life, and that you once a week or maybe twice a week are going to prepare a meal every single week for them. You know, that is a serious commitment, right? It's a serious commitment. Even if you don't want to, you know, you will have to put it into as a discipline. That is Saturn as a discipline. So know if this person is worth it, and if they are, you're going to feel very good about not only yourself, but also for that other person. So enjoy this new moon. Enjoy. It is think good about the things that have happened, and But start with the little things, right? If you're saying being loyal and being kind, no one is kind to me, for instance, well, take an opportunity, be kind in a very easy way. If someone is struggling to cross the street, help them, that kind of thing. If someone is having like one piece of grocery, if you go to the grocery store, they have one piece and you have a whole package full of items, give your place to that person and say, you can go first. That is what I'm talking about. The world does need a lot about that, doesn't it? And another thing, and then I'm going to finish up here, is that this is all about a new start. This is actually the new year, you could say, because of this new moon. Anyway, enjoy it, make the most of it, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.